He for whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna. So, this is the ideal, right? This is the ideal. To be so, what's the word, equipoised, not influenced, unagitated, not disturbed. This is the ideal of a Vaishnava, of a devotee, of a transcendentalist. This is the reason why it's called transcendentalist. He's situated in a transcendental position. Transcendental means like a neutral position. Transcendental means Yamaraj is going to get the milk. It's amazing. I just mean, you know, all glories to him, you know. What can be done, huh? I don't know, yeah, I don't know. He's the temple commander. Björn, check it out, huh? Maybe you go. Well, it's nice, maybe he sees as a practice for the healing of his knee. But still. I thought it's a child going with this child thing, and then look, Yamaraj going with the milk. Okay, so yeah, this is the ideal. And we read about this quite regularly in the Bhagavad Gita. It's one of the main topics of Bhagavad Gita, this transcendental position. And Arjuna asked this also. How does a transcendentalist sit? How does he walk? Right? What is his speech? Which is... Anyway, I don't want to go too much in detail. I have not so much time. I don't want to take too much time. But anyway, and then Krishna answers, he is Stita Pragyastatocha. Stita Pragya. Stita Pragya. Meaning, he is situated in Pragya, in consciousness. Which means in consciousness itself. Yeah? Consciousness can be colored. If you're situated in colored consciousness, a material consciousness, you haven't won anything. Because then you are conscious of your anger, conscious of your lust, conscious of your false ego. But pragya, in that sense, it means pure consciousness. And that means transcendental. And this is the only way how it's possible to be neutral, unagitated. Not that you are like a stone. A stone is also transcendental. Right? A stone is, you call him an idiot, he will not object. He will not object. Huh? How glorious. Yeah, how glorious. Or you're such a nice stone, you are so, so beautiful or something, he will not get puffed up. Yes, I am the best stone in the field. Yes, very nice. Huh? So this is not transcendental. The stone is not transcendental. Transcendental is it's a position, you reside in a higher consciousness. This is what's talked here. It's a higher consciousness, and you from there, it's like you're above everything. It's like this, you're above everything and transcended the false ego, which is the central element which makes the material experience possible and makes it possible that we have experience of these bad qualities and all that. So transcendental means above the ego. It's kind of either dissolved or nicely understood, and we are not influenced anymore. But this is a very, very high platform. It's the ideal. We can dream of that. We work on that. This is should be one of our practices, but so often we find ourselves, and some more, some less, catch ourselves where we're not transcendental, where we're influenced and acting according to the influence. One thing is being influenced, meaning you feel that you're agitated, that you're disturbed, that you're sad, that you're angry. And the next thing is you act according to that. This is actually worse. So it's very bad to act according to the influence. It's very bad. But it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. And so what are these symptoms of such a transcendental position? Here are a couple of symptoms. And when we are like that, Krishna says, I like you very much. then I like you. Krishna puts a condition of his love. No problem. He loves everyone, he says. He loves everyone. Yes. What's the verse? Samoham sarva bhuteshu nametvishyosti na priyaha. Yeah, what is it? How does it continue? 9th chapter, 30. Huh? Yeah. I have no problem with anyone. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I'm equal to all living entities. I don't hate anyone. I don't love anyone. Nametvishyosti na priyaha. I'm neutral. But if you're my devotee, you and me, I'm in you, I have a relationship, then it's different. So Krishna is neutral, yes, but at the same time, we want to have his love. We don't want to have this neutrality. We want to have a relationship with Krishna. And for this, there are some conditions. And this is one of the conditions. I don't want to put it too hard. It's not that Krishna will not love you if you're not transcendental. But still he pronounces that as being something what is very dear to him. Yasa che me priyaha. Such one is very dear to me. Priyaha. Very dear. I like him. And these are the qualifications. So if we have these to some degree, or the more we have them, the more Krishna is pleased with us. Yasman no dvichate loko. Means from whom never are agitated loka. A devotee is not udvichate is the word here, agitating any living entity. A devotee is not disturbing any living entity. Not disturbing anyone. Live and let live. Okay, but then we say, but we have to disturb them for preaching. Okay, it might be some, in that sense it's different, but also there we should be smart to do it in a nice way. But besides that, we should not, be on the nerves of everyone, not agitate anyone, be nice and gentle, And lokam no dvichate chayaha, from the other point of view, and he is not disturbed by anyone. He is not disturbing anyone, and he is not disturbed by anyone. Either nobody disturbs him because everyone understands he is so saintly and don't mess with him, because then you have a reaction by the Lord. And sometimes it's like this, not that people respect someone because they understand he is very influential. Either they respect you as a devotee, but sometimes or often actually not. So how, and they might disturb you, but you're not accepting the disturbance. You're not accepting the offense. In that sense, it's meant that he is not disturbed by anyone. Because even Prabhupada was disturbed by people who were offending him or criticizing him. Yeah? Isn't it? Prabhupada had offenders. But such a devotee is not accepting the offense. And in that sense, he's not disturbed by anyone. He's not disturbing anyone, and he's not disturbed by anyone. Even if someone disturbs him, seemingly, that he's tolerating it. So, we should remember this always. That someone is offending us. They're not offending. Oh, you're offending me. We shouldn't think like that, actually. This is Vaishnava Parat. Someone tells you, oh Prabhu, could you please wash the pots? No, don't offend me. This is Vaishnava Parat, the worst offense you can make. This is called false ego. We shouldn't think like that you can offend me. You cannot offend me. My ego is maybe a little bit disturbed, I'm sad. Yeah, okay, but it's not that you offend me. Okay, but we shouldn't feel offended. We should not feel sad. We shouldn't feel angry. It's very difficult because the ego is so big. And I really have to say, for some more and for some less. Isn't it? There are some devotees who are actually, their ego is already quite small. And you see they are very humble. They are genuinely humble. And then you see in others, or in yourself, that you have a very big ego. Not humble at all. If someone comes in my way, I get really... I could use harsh words now, but I'm sitting on the Vyasa-sons. I can really get, angry. And I want to retaliate. And this is also a nice verse. I spoke this verse recently, isn't it? Or in Cologne, I was reading this verse in the 48th verse from the first canto, chapter, 18, I think. Where it said that a devotee, even though he is... Huh?
Even if he's killed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Even he's offended, so what's the first word? It's, Triyastrita, Vipralambha, Shapto, what was it then? Kshipta, Hata, Api. Yeah, this was the first thing. So it was, even though he is offended, he is, what is this? Vipralabdha meant it was neglected. It was neglected, or he is betrayed. No, Shapta means like cursed, and then was betrayed, and then even killed. Right? He is never, not even inclined to retaliate. Prati, what was the word? Prati kurvanti. Prati kurvanti means like giving back. I give it back. That what you do to me, I give the same back to you. He's not in Prabhupada translated as inclined. He's not even inclined. He's not even thinking about it.
Although he's powerful to counter curse.
Although he's powerful, even he could too. Yeah. The devotee is not giving this back. And this is a nice quality, isn't it? But for us, sometimes it's difficult. Someone is this and we think, I want to give it back, I want that you feel as you made me feel right now. You should feel the same. This was not right. I make you feel the same, isn't it? It's very difficult to be humble, accepting, understand it's all Krishna's grace. This is a test of Krishna right now. Krishna made this to see where my ego is. And I see, here is my ego, and I should shut up. I should shut up and not, it's actually good. Because if you don't do that, then you kind of blow up your ego more. Yeah, and you forget it. But this is what we want. We want to see where's the ego, because the ego is the thing which is in our way to Krishna. It's the obstacle. Yeah, so this is life. So we have to learn the lessons, and we should really understand when we make mistakes and think, next time, please, my Lord, please, let me not make this mistake again. Isn't it? We should please, okay. And actually, what is interesting, because materialists, for them, this behavior is like normal. For them, it's normal to give it back, to shout back. And I don't say now from I'm a devotee point of view, and I know how I was, and I made offenses left and right in that sense. I offended people left and right. I did not care. Probably I still don't care. Right? But now we are more subtle and we understand we shouldn't behave like this, and we work on ourselves. We should work on ourselves. We really and seriously should work on ourselves. Seriously. Yeah, this is the lesson. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much actually, but this verse, I must say, when we read that, this is the ideal. And we should strive there. And we should not think that we are already there, and we should also not think that we cannot reach that. Right? Sometimes from this idealistic and super enthusiastic point of view, what is this? In the Madhurya Kadambini, it's called Utsamai. I think it was Utsamai, one of the, what was it? Kind of preliminary apparats. I don't know where was it. It was with, I can't remember. There was a list. And one of this was the first. Utsamai means, this enthusiasm. Utsaha means actually enthusiasm. Also when we have a Utsaha, a festival. So it means also enthusiasm, which is very important for spiritual life. Utsaha, what is it in Nectar of Instruction? I forgot. What is it? Huh? Yeah, Utsaha nishchayata yata tat karma pravartanat. Yeah. Enthusiasm, patience, and determination. Yeah, I think it was this. So anyway, enthusiasm, but there is as something, it is something negative. Not enthusiasm like, I'm enthusiastic to serve the Lord. No, it's there a false enthusiasm based on puffed upness, on false ego. And it means you learn something in devotional service, and because you are enthusiastic about it, and it's amazing, it's wonderful, but now you think you know it all, and you tell it to everyone. I'm so advanced, I understood it, it's so wonderful. Don't you know the holy name is full of nectar? Yeah. And then you have this typical scene in the Bhakta ashram. that the Bhaktas preach to each other because of the enthusiasm, and they preach to each other, like knowing everything. It's natural, normal, but funny. Yeah, because they are so enthusiastic. Yeah. So, and I think Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that a child goes to school and learns like the ABC, and then goes back and tells the mother, "Mother, what I learned, I have to teach you now, A, B, C, D." Yeah. So this is utsamai, that you think, because for you it's new and you're enthusiastic about it, but you should not be puffed up because of this. Yeah. So sometimes and utsamai has also subtle phases. Now I think, for me, this is not my issue anymore. But still, these are still issues for all of us, or at least I see it for myself still. And these verses, or in the past when I read Shastra, very often I kind of thought, yes, of course, I understand it, I am there. Kind of stupid. Because I understand it, I know what's talked about, on a theoretical platform, I understand it. So in one sense, yeah, I know it. But what's about the realization of it? What about the realization of it? It's far away. And these verses, which are, it's just Bhagavad Gita, yeah, we could say, but it's so high. Or this verse is so high. Yeah. What to speak about higher topics? Huh? If you haven't understood even the base, what about higher topics? So this being transcendental is very high. I can see this, it's very high. I make so many mistakes. I catch myself either grossly or subtly doing exactly the opposite of what's talked about here. Becoming agitated in the ego, being, what's the other word? Not offended, but, beleidigt. Huh? What is beleidigt? Where are the English speakers? Not offended, but a little less than offended. What is you're translating? Insulted, yeah, that's the word, thank you. Insulted, so I feel kind of insulted. Why is he or she behaving so towards me? I don't deserve that. Don't they know who I am? Like this. The ego is so tricky, huh? And in one sense, the longer you are like in Krishna consciousness and you don't take the process so serious, the bigger your false ego gets. Because now I'm so long in Krishna consciousness. I'm so long in Krishna. So I need more respect. Actually, I should need less respect, isn't it? Anyway, Bhagavad Gita is very important literature, which should help us and motivate us to work seriously on us, to become nice devotees, humble devotees, wise devotees, self-mastered devotees. And this is, and why? Not that we can feel good ourselves. Of course, this will be a result, but primarily, as we hear here, because it's pleasing to Krishna, isn't it? And this is this is a high platform. I work on myself to be a nice devotee because the Lord is pleased. Because I want to work on myself, kind of to feel good and to overcome the impurities, to kind of be happy, so kind of for myself, but to do this for the Lord. Nice motivation, actually, nice platform. This is very good, so that the Lord is pleased and the devotees are pleased with, me as a service. Okay, so let's work on ourselves. Take this Bhakti Yoga process serious. That Krishna is pleased with us, and that Prabhupada can be proud of us. Not in Prabhupada was proud of his devotees, so that we are, that Prabhupada is also pleased. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Any question? Anything you want to add? Yes? Ja.
Mir ist noch die Geschichte eingefallen mit dieser sehr zu passen ist, von dem Jäger und Narada Muni.
Ja.
Also, ob wir die vielleicht kurz erzählen können, ist so ganz
Oh ja, ich meine, wenn ich Geschichten erzähle, dann erzähle ich die gerne länger und ausführlich und animiert und das wäre jetzt eine lange und ich mag es jetzt nicht. Du willst, weil du sie nicht kennst oder warum willst du sie hören?
Nein, also weil ich das nur nicht so gut wiedergeben kann.
Gut findet. Ja, ich würde das so ausholen. Ich meine, ich weiß nicht, ob wir jetzt so viel Zeit haben. Ha? Ja, okay, dann mache ich es nicht zu lange. Okay, he asked me for a story, and I said, I don't know if I want to tell it. It's actually a short story. I can make it short. Yeah, okay, so it is a story. And actually, it's not in the Bhagavatam. First, it's also interesting where it's from, but it's quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, as far as I remember. But I don't know where the original source is from them, the hunter, the Mrigari and Narada Muni. But I don't know where the original source is from. But as far as I remember, it's quoted in, Prabhupada quite regularly told it, and it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Where was it told in Chaitanya Charitamrita? I cannot remember. But anyway, so a story goes like this, that there is a hunter, and his name is Mrigari. And Mrigari actually means the enemy of the animals. Mriga means the animal, and Ari means the killer, or enemy of the animals. And his job was, of course, he was a hunter. He was shooting animals. He had a bow and arrow and was shooting the animals to have a nice fur. And yeah, he made a living out of that. But, okay, the story goes from the other point then. Then there was Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, he's always flying around, walking around. And he comes in a forest and he walks to the forest. And he sees on the forest path animals. But they are half dead, it said half dead. They are like in pain and they are almost dying. And he sees that this was done on purpose. That the hunter was shooting them in a way that they are not immediately dying. And he walks and there's like a, what was it, porcupine? What is actually a porcupine? Stachelschwein. Stachelschwein. Porcupine. And then there was like a rabbit, it said, and I think a deer or something. They were lying there on pain. And Narada Muni is paradukha dukhi. And paradukha dukhi means he's suffering when others are suffering. Actually, I read yesterday, I think, in the 9th canto. I'm reading 9th canto right now. And there is a verse by, I think it was King Rantideva. King Rantidev is famous because he was fasting and wanted to break his fast, and then there comes a brahmana and he gives him something to eat before he eats, and then there comes I think it was a chandala and he gives him something to eat, and the dog is coming, and he's always giving, and then was it him or the other one anyway, and then there's a verse which is said, "My Lord, I pray to you that I take on all the suffering of all living entities so they can become free of karma and go back to you, and I want to stay here and suffer for them." It's a verse in the Bhagavatam which was powerful, interesting. This is the principle also there in Christianity, and it's interesting, but it was the exact shloka for this principle. Anyway, so Narada Muni is like this, he is suffering, he sees this and he's touched. And it's natural, or he would also be touched and say, oh, poor animal. Actually, I was in Radhakund, and I saw a monkey, kind of a baby monkey. Like, they are cute. But somehow his spine was broken. I saw him at first in the, what is it called? Baikal, Chaitanya Baikal. This is the sitting place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Hare Krishna on the Radhakund. Right? There's a little shrine there, and where Mahaprabhu was chanting. I think there I saw him first. And his spine was broken. He could only walk like this. Yeah, it's a small baby monkey. And, the monkeys are not something great in Vrindavan, India. You think, they're terrible. Actually, the monkeys in Vrindavan are terrible, and nobody likes them because they are stealing your stuff. They're stealing. When you have some fruits, or they catch the fruits. So it happened to me. Or the best is they steal your glasses. Everyone knows that, huh? And phones nowadays, they also know that their phone. They stole the shoes from Lochan? Yeah. So when you go to India, you have your encounters with the monkeys. But still, he was poor. He was just walking like this. He looks like a baby monkey and poor. And it was poor. And it was heart-touching. What can you do? And next day, I saw him on another place. He was kind of hanging out. And everyone who walked by was kind of feeling like that, So, it's not nice to see others suffering, other living entities suffering. So Narada Muni goes there, and then he sees that there is a hunter, and he's black and has red eyes, and he looks really sinful. Black and sinful, Hare Krishna. But this is said in Shastra, the black, the dark color and complexion is the sign for sin. actually in the opera of Mozart, the Zauberflöte, I forgot the name, but there's one guy who is a Moor, and at that time they called him Moor, black guy, and he sings a line to this queen, I forgot the names, but he sings, "Oh, you only think that I'm bad because I'm black." And then they went on to, in this Black Lives Matter thing, they watch out for everything what is racist. And they even said, we have to rewrite the Mozart. And they said, come on, you cannot rewrite Mozart. At that time it was not so bad to say that. Nowadays, of course, you cannot say, because I'm black, you think I'm bad. So it's tricky also for us now when is black, he's dark, he's sinful. But anyway, it's described like that. And Narada Muni, kind of by purpose, walks to the forest and steps on some twigs and make a noise. Because the hunter was like already aiming at the next victim, animal. What's, you streaming something or?
No.
Something. No problem.
My throat is too hungry.
Yeah, no problem. So, and through this, all the animals, they ran away because Narada Muni made a noise. And I think he kind of did it on purpose. And the hunter is like, come on, what are you doing here? And he's immediately angry. Yeah, I wanted to shoot these nice animals. But he sees, oh, it's a saint. And this at least he knows. He said, okay, I have to be a little bit respectful. And he kind of held himself back. I have to be a little bit respectful and said, oh, my dear sadhu. Kind of like this, what are you doing here in this forest, actually, anyways? And then Narada Muni immediately encounters and said, what are you doing? Why are you not, I understand you're a hunter, it's your business, but why don't you kill the animals? At least kill them. Don't let them suffer like this. And he says, oh, but this is how I learned it. And actually, I like it. Actually, I like it. I learned this from my father, and he learned from. I like it. This is I enjoy it to see them suffering. And then Narada Muni preached to them. And this is the difference now when a pure devotee preaches, and he explains to him, don't you know there's something like karma, that you will get all this suffering back? And I think he says then, but I have to maintain my family. I have to give them something to eat. I have to, and says, will they take your karma? You will suffer for that. And on book distribution, very often I try to explain people something like that. Very simple. And they don't believe it, they don't accept it, it's useless. But Narada Muni, because this hunter immediately understands, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're right. Oh, thank you that you enlighten me. I will, this powerful speech by Narada Muni. And then, what was it? He surrenders to Narada Muni and says, please help me. And then Narada Muni says, okay, I help you, but first you have to throw away your bow. Break it and throw it away. And he's kind of, oh, but I have to, no, you have to do this. And I think, he does it. He throws it away. And then Narada Muni explains to him, stop this business. Chant the holy name, go home to your family, all of you, just chant, put a tulsi plant in front of your house and chant the holy name in front of the tulsi plant. And he asks, but what about my maintenance and eating? He says, don't worry. Either he says, I will take care or Krishna will take care, something like this. And he has trust, okay, you are my guru, because from this he surrendered, Narada Muni is his guru. He goes back, he tells all the family, they are kind of happy, okay with it, and they just chant. And suddenly, then it goes around that Mrigari, the hunter, the killer of the animals, the Tierquäler, I don't know what's it called in English, Tierquäler. And I don't know, someone who is like, quälen, torturing animals, torturing animals. It goes around, he became a saint. Because this means a saint. If someone gives up all this business, just chants Hare Krishna, it's kind of a saint. And then, what? How could this happen? And it's a great wonder. And what is at that culture especially done with saints? You maintain them. Saints have to be maintained. So this was never a problem in this society to become a devotee or brahmachari or sannyasi, because you don't have any problems. They will give you something to eat. They will take care of you. They respect that so much. And they bring him food, so much food all the time. And this is how he could live. And after some time later, there was Narada Muni traveling around, and together, I think, with his friend. And Narada Muni has a very good friend. His name is, I think, it's Parvata Muni. Parvata Muni, as far as I remember. Yeah, Parvata Muni. This is his body, the body of Narada Muni. And they fly around, what such munis do, you know, they fly through the universe and see what's going on. And Narada Muni says, oh, Parvata, I'm very close to this forest. There's one of my disciples. Let's visit him. Let's see how he does. And they fly down, land there in this forest, and they see Mrigari, who is completely different now, not anymore so black and looking so fearsome. You know, he's dressed as in Vaishnav clothes, he's shaved up, his tilak, and he sees his guru and he runs, oh, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. He runs, and on the way he stops because there are some ants walking, and he falls on the floor and with his chada wipes the ants, and then he makes dandavat. And then Narada Muni, I think Parvata Muni said this, oh, Narada Muni, you're such a powerful, you know, you changed the heart of this person. Before he was cruel and torturing animals, and now he cannot even harm an ant. Oh, Narada Muni, you're such a great devotee. So the glory goes then actually to Narada Muni, who made this change in heart. Yeah. So this was, I think, the story. Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is very nice, and this is what Prabhupada did. So Prabhupada said himself, you know, one short anecdote in the end. Prabhupada was asked in the airport by a reporter. You know, Prabhupada was there, and all the disciples were sitting, many disciples were sitting. And then a reporter asked, Swamiji, or Prabhupada, what is your wonder? We have so many wonders, you know, we have this side, this, and Baba that, they can, you know, they can create gold, and they can fly, or they can read your mind, right? These yogis, like you, they can do some wonders, miracles. What is your miracle? And Prabhupada said, my miracle? And he turned, you know, showed his disciples, this is my miracle. To make all this materialists into devotees, to make this change of heart. As Prabhupada says, I make out of all these hippies, happies. That's what Prabhupada said. I make out of all these hippies, we make happies. Because hippie is a very morose, very frustrated living entity. But they are happies. Or as Prabhupada says, we make out of the crows, we make swans. And this is the greatest wonder if someone turns towards God. So this is the greatest one. This is Prabhupada's wonder. So we see this effect also in Prabhupada, that we just read a book of Prabhupada and suddenly we want to become devotees. We want to become saints. It was not in my life plan to become a saint. Now it is. Isn't it? Everyone, I want to be a saint. I want to be saintly. Okay, thank you very much for your question. So we could fill some time. No? So, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada K. Nitai Gaura Premanande.